Hi everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Wow Wednesday. Today we're going to work with the Lazy Days bundle out of the annual catalog. You can find this on page 19, and the bundle sells for $52. And you could buy them separate if you just wanted the stamp set. It's only $24. But I absolutely love this bundle, and I love doing the technique of silhouettes. And a special thanks out to Glenda Mollet. I saw a card that she made and I absolutely fell in love with it, and I thought I would duplicate it. Of course, mine's a little bit different, but not much. And we're going to make that for you today. This also is going to be my free class to go for the month of August. Remember, there's no stamping when I send out my free classes, but if you place a $40 minimum order, you get the class to go for free, and we'll have 2 cards with everything cut and ready for you to do. And this is a great way to do the class to go, because we're going to be doing the silhouette scenes, and you can get away with not having any stamping on there at all. So we're going to be using the Lazy Days, and we're going to be using those dies. There are so many awesome dies. I think it's let's see, total of, let me see, how many pieces? 16 different dies. Absolutely love this stamp set and the dies. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be creating our front cover of the card, and we're going to be using basic black as our card base, and then we're going to be using our basic white at 5 1/4 by 4, and we're going to start that with doing some blending with our blending brushes and some colors. And first and foremost, what I want to start out here with is I'm going to start with placing where I want my sunset. So I'm just giving myself an idea here of the sunset. So I have a circle that I punched out with our 1-inch circle punch. I'm not even sure if we still have that, but if not, you can use one of our dies and just use a small little circle. And I cut a straight line because we want it to look like the sunset. So I have this on a Post-it note, and I also have used it a few times. So I am basically going to go ahead and blend over top of it, and I added a little bit of my liquid glue just to try to keep it in place, but I'll be careful as I'm blending. So I'm using my blending brushes, and I have Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to start just going right over top of that, and I'm going to do the bottom really, really light. So I'm coming off, and you'll see why, because that's going to be our porch deck, and I just want a little tiny bit of color in it, not much at all. But as I get up here around the sunset, I'm going to make this a little bit heavier. And remember, when you're using your blending brushes, you want to come from off the paper so you don't get those big globs of color. My granddaughter was just asking me how to blend, so she'll be able to watch this video where she could stand right here and watch me because she's here today. So I'm going to just start out by blending, and I'm going to get lighter as I go up, and you'll see why, because we're going to have a different color in the sky for the sunset. So this is all Daffodil Delight. Okay. Just get a little bit darker right around there, and up above it a little. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with some pumpkin pie. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to Poppy Parade. And this I'm going to use very, very lightly just across my porch. So I'm rubbing the majority of it off, and I'm just giving a little bit of color on my porch there. Okay, and then I'm going to come up the side here and give myself a little bit of this color in our sky. Just making it a little bit darker on one side and fading off to make it a little lighter as we go across. And if you have a little bit of white left in your background here, that's all fine. You don't have to be all color. Having some white sky in there is just fine. So that was Poppy Parade. And now I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, and as I said, I will not have these parts stamped for you when you get your class to go if you qualify, or you can purchase the class to go as well. The class to go is $20, but you can get it free with a $40 order. Everything is die cut and ready for you. If there's any dry embossing or anything, which we don't have on this card, everything is ready. You just have to do your stamping and assemble it. And of course, you would have to do your own blending here in the colors. That's not done for you either. So I'm going to start out with the stamp from the set that gives us the wood look. And I'm definitely stamping off first, okay? And then I'm just going to very lightly, and you don't have to do this the whole way apart. You could just do it randomly. You don't have to have everything completed and filled in. So I think we'll leave it just like that. Okay, and then I have already pre-cut my porch, my pergola, whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to add some glue, and I'm just going to come right on down to my porch here, and I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm just putting a dab off to the side here, and then I'm going to use a toothpick, and I'm going to pick this up. Let's see, this is the opposite side that I want to add my glue to. And I don't have to glue this whole thing. I just want some pertinent parts to make sure they have glue on them, which would be going across the top here. And I like to use a toothpick so that I don't get too much glue in here. You could take it right from your glue if you wanted to. And I'm not going all the way across because I'm going to be cutting this off. I'm going to give myself a little bit more in a few of these spots here. And then we're going to bring this down to the porch and over to the edge. So I want to come over to the edge of my card here. And it looks like I'm a little crooked, so I must not have this down properly. So I'm going to straighten it up. And if you wanted to be real particular, you could check it with a ruler and everything, but I'm not that way with handmade cards because I like them to be handmade. Then I'm going to cut off the excess here, and I'm going to save that because sometime I might want to put an extended piece on. Now it looks like I might need a little bit more glue because I didn't quite come over far enough, which is fine. I just wanted to do the little bit and didn't want to have glue on that piece that I cut off because I'm going to reuse it probably for another project. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my railing, and I'm going to take the glue off here. And I always like to rub that and make sure I don't have any little glue stuck on there because I don't want anything to get stuck to it. And I'm going to do the same thing right here with my railing. Or do I want to bring it down? I think it looks good right at the railing itself. So I think we'll do it that way. So again, I'm just going to use my toothpick. Give myself a few dots across here in the wide spots. And this would have been easy enough to use the glue bottle too, but I like to put it across this, and that's kind of thin. So again, during the month of August, if you make a purchase of $40 or more, you can earn the class to go for free, and it will be 2 cards all pre-cut and ready for you to go. You just have to do your own stamping, where I'll be using this silhouette style with Lazy Days. So that's our porch railing. So now that I've made that railing kind of high, I think I might come back and add a little bit more to my porch. There you go. So we've got a nice big porch there. And that gives us plenty of room for our rocker. So again, I'm going to use the glue and a toothpick. Might be running out there. There's a little bit. And get some glue on here. And then put just a little dabs on the rocker. And put that in its place. And see how beautiful, just making a silhouette out of the black cardstock, our basic black. And then here is a table. This is another one of the great dies. And this one's fine to just go ahead and use my glue. We'll have the table right next to that. And then over here, next to the fence post, the porch post, I just did a silhouette die cut of a basket. And that's okay if it's coming off of there just a little bit, because I am putting this on a larger card base. So there's our porch scene. And then I have the stamp that I love, the sayings in the stamp set as well. And this one happens to say, "It's always a good day." And there's many other things that you could add to it from the inside. The other sayings, or if you wanted to create it like "It's always a good day because it's your birthday," or whatever you wanted to write on the inside. And we're actually going to dress up the inside a little bit too, and I will show that to you. So this is a 5.5 by 8.5 card base. And I'll just go ahead and use my liquid glue since it's right here, if there's enough, to add this to my basic black card base. I think I'm empty. And that goes right there. Isn't that a beautiful card? Absolutely love it. And then on the inside, we're going to do it up a little bit too. So I'm just going to take my Daffodil Delight and the brush I used that for. And we're going to come up the side here and give us some pretty yellow. Again, this is another great idea that I did copy this from Glenda Mollet, or Mollet, M-O-L-L-E-T, from a website that us demonstrators have access to. It's called a demonstrator planning place. And we encourage people to copy and share. That's what we call casing. And I case this directly from her idea. So now I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping here again, using my Memento Black and doing a little bit of the porch, stamping off so it's real faint. And then I'm going to stamp the table. Just like the cutout that we had right here, we have a stamp to match it as well. And there we have that, sitting there on our table, and that'll be the inside of our card. I'm going to leave my Memento Black open because I'm actually going to do something with the envelope as well. I'm going to go ahead and grab my stamp and seal since my glue was almost empty. And this will be on the inside. And as I stated, you can add what you want to the inside. I'm not going to stamp anything, even though there's some great stamps if you do tend to get this set. Of course, if you would like to get this bundle, that's $52, and you would definitely qualify for the class, where I would have all of this cut for you and sent to you in a package for free. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with our envelopes. I had made 2 cards, so I'm going to go ahead and create 2 envelopes. And I am stamping off again. And I have that there. There we go. And then we're going to add the plant. So we have a plant basket. I always like to stamp it once before I actually used it, because I haven't used this stamp before. And I haven't primed them or cleaned them or anything, but it seems to be stamping just fine. So there we have it for today's Well Wednesday. So this is like a porch scene. And this one here, I did more like a pergola. Now I did still do the railing, where pergolas don't really always have railings, but what I did was I cut 2 of these and I trimmed one off to just get the edge again. And I have the porch, the pergola leg coming down on each side. So this is actually flipped over, but it's very difficult to tell. In person, really up close, if you were paying attention, you could probably tell, but I still think it's a great idea to flip it over and have both sides of your porch or pergola. So I'm calling this the pergola one, and I'm calling this the porch scene. So this, again, for Well Wednesday, is also going to be my August class. So class to go, free with a $40 purchase. Don't forget, you must use the August host code, will be posted in the description of the video. And don't forget, of course, for Well Wednesdays, you need to like and comment for a chance to win 2 cards. These 2 cards you can win. And use the August host code, which again will be in the description, and place a $40 order, and you'll win the supplies to make these 2 cards just with no stamping, and you'll have to do the blending and stuff on your own. So thanks again for joining me, everyone. I hope you absolutely loved this video today with the last day stamp bundle, and I'm going to definitely be using it again more this month, since we're getting to the end of summer already. But I absolutely love it, and we'll do some more stamping with it for another video later this month. Thanks again. Don't forget to like and comment for your chance to win the 2 cards. Happy stamping, everyone.